The threat to European security due to Russia's full-scale military aggression against Ukraine, energy and food blackmail of the Kremlin are key topics of discussion in Istanbul this year. Participants of the TRT World Forum are sure that without the supply of Ukrainian grain, some countries in Asia and Africa would not be able to overcome the food crisis.
Russia, which started to use energy as a political tool, some said even weaponizing, even before the war starts. So this is where it starts. Now we have to draw our consequences from this. And on the grain, on the food, it's the same. It is Russia which in the beginning blocked the Ukrainian ports and made it impossible for Ukraine to deliver grain to the world markets. Now, thanks to Turkey and its president, and we rightfully congratulated the Turkish president this morning on his initiative and on his actions on the grain deal. But still, the beginning of all this is a Russian aggression. So I would say, as a bottom line, and Edi Rama said it in the beginning, this war of aggression is a watershed for European security order. This is the European 9/11. Nothing will be as it was before, and we will all have to face up to it.
Until February 24th, Ukraine ranked 4th in the world in terms of exports of agricultural products. It provided 10% of the world's wheat market, more than 15% of barley and almost half of sunflower oil. After the blockade of Ukrainian ports by Russia, food prices in the world rose sharply. But Kyiv managed to reach agreements and balance the situation on the market.
The Grain Initiative continues to work. We know that since the beginning of its work, since the end of July, more than 18 million tons of grain have already been exported to all regions of the world, starting from the countries of Africa, Asia, including China, for example, hand-handing, of course, with the countries of the European Union, which traditionally buy quite a lot of grain for the needs of animal husbandry. In the first place, this is corn. Speaking of an additional component of this grain initiative, the politically successful Grain from Ukraine program, which was initiated by President Zelensky, allowed us to raise almost $200 million additionally.
The Grain from Ukraine initiative has united more than 30 countries. The collected funds will go to the delivery of food to countries that are most affected by the lack of grain, for example, in Somalia and Ethiopia.
This is one of the historical mistakes of the Russian leader. With his insane aggression, he only proved that the security of Ukraine and the Black Sea region is critically important for global security, and any aggression in our part of the world is a global crime. The food crisis would not have been acute if the Russian fleet had not blocked our ports in the Black Sea. Without the export of our food, the global market will instantly destabilize. This was felt by various countries in Africa and Asia. It manifested itself in fluctuations in food prices in other parts of the planet.
According to experts, grain agreements, despite their effectiveness, can be expanded, and in this Ukraine can count on the support of international partners.
The support of the world is felt, therefore we constantly emphasize that the initiative should be extended not for 120 days, but for a year, for example, so that our farmers feel more confident in terms of planning and work, or initiate the connection of the same port of Mykolaiv to the operation of this grain corridor.
Despite the signed agreements on the supply of Ukrainian food, Russia continues to shell the critical infrastructure of the southern regions. The operation of the Odessa port, for example, is hampered because of this. Reported by Serhiy Kulyas, Larissa Zubenko, UATV News.